Hey there, you guys. This is Jaden Pictures here. This is Jaden talking right here. And okay, so I just got out that Vegeta the Halls clip video earlier tonight, a bit ago. And yeah, I do want to continue putting out more Christmas themed content for my channel, like I've been talking to you guys about. But I figured before I do so, I thought I would do another review video. And just so you guys know, no, I was not requested in any way, shape, or form to do this review video. And in fact, the person who has made whatever it is that I will be reviewing in this video, like so far, all the conversations I've had about this person were all because I brought this guy up. So yeah, it makes perfect sense why no one would request me or tell me in any way, shape, or form, or tell me or ask me in any way, shape, or form to do this review. No, this is just a review I felt like doing myself because I do enjoy sharing my opinions because I do enjoy sharing my opinions on spoofs and whatnot, letting you guys know what I think about certain spoof casts, certain spoof projects, certain spoof casting choices and whatnot. And, yeah, I do enjoy sharing my opinions on other people's spoofs. And plus, yeah, I would like to see there be more reviews on spoof films on YouTube. If I'm correct, I'm the only person on YouTube who reviews spoof films off of YouTube. And yeah, there's also the Return of the Fossa, who one time did a video of him reviewing the 3 Toon Story Toy Story movies by Mario Sonic Philly Fan 700. Yeah, if you guys want to watch that video, a link to it will be in the description below. It's a pretty cool video in my opinion. And yeah, like what the Return of the Fossa did in that video, where he reviewed multiple spoof films in one video, I'll be doing the same thing in this video. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to review Raeed Asheque's Humphrey Shrek movies. Yeah, the 2 Humphrey Shrek films he got out so far. I'm not going to review the entire series because, I'm not going to review the entire franchise because the entire franchise isn't out yet. So far, only the first 2 movies are complete, and he's also done The Ghost of Lord Farquaad, that extra, but I'm not going to review that. I'm just going to review, the two full-length Humphrey Shrek movies that he's gotten out so far. And yeah, that's all I'll be reviewing in this video. Maybe when he gets out Humphrey the Third and Humphrey Forever After, maybe I would want to do a review on those. But as of right now, just reviewing the first 2 movies. Just reviewing the first 2 movies. That's all I'm in the mood to do right now. And yeah, this video is going to end up being pretty long, so yeah, let me just get more into detail and try not to repeat myself too much. Yeah, so this Humphrey Shrek series, I found this series off of YouTube, like over a year and a half ago, around the time, probably around the time I finished up my updated Vegeta 1 Shrek 1 movie spoof project. Yeah, I found it over a year and a half ago, sometime last year, and yeah, there were some pretty interesting things about this project, and I didn't keep up with Humphrey 1 as it was going on, but I did keep up with Humphrey 2 as it was going on, and I was talking to Raeed Asheque a lot as he was doing it, and honestly, I feel like I was annoying the guy too much with the amount of comments I've been giving him and all that stuff. And yeah, I honestly, looking back, I think I wish I would give him less comments, but whatever. It's not a big deal. It's not like there's ever been any big drama going on between me and the guy. So yeah, but I do feel like I could have posted less comments to him, but it's fine though. Nothing to worry about. That's stuff that doesn't matter that much, that happened months ago. So yeah, nothing to worry about. But yeah. I'm gonna review his Humphrey Shrek movies in this video, the 2 we got out so far. And yeah, just so you guys know, spoiler alert, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff in these movies that I'm gonna spoil in this video, like casting choices, some unique ideas, the audio quality of it, editing, all that stuff is gonna be spoiled in this video. So yeah, spoiler alert. If you do not want to get spoiled for this guy's Humphrey Shrek movies, I think it's best that you just click off the video, go watch his Humphrey Shrek movies, and then come back to this video if you want to. Okay, so yeah, with all that being said, let's just get on to the review, because this is going to be a big one. I'm reviewing 2 spoof films. Come on, let's get this started. Okay, so let's start off with the casting choices. We're going through the casting choices, as usual. Okay, so starting off with the casting choice for Shrek, of course, because, who else to start with? Okay, so as for the casting choice for Shrek, this is one of those characters I don't remember ever knowing about. I wasn't familiar with at all. This is one of those characters I don't remember ever knowing anything about until I saw, a particular spoof. And who is the character he has as Shrek in this project? Simple. The main character of this 8-movie series called Alpha and Omega, and it's the main character, Humphrey. What's my opinion on it? I don't have any opinion on it. I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. It does seem pretty fitting, though, but I don't really have an opinion. I've never seen Alpha and Omega. Although I will say this, guys. While I've never seen the Alpha and Omega movies in their entirety, I will say this. Those movies did look pretty interesting from the footage Raeed was showing of the movies for his Humphrey Shrek series. But then I saw this YouTuber called Dumbsville do a review on the first Alpha and Omega movie, calling it the worst movie ever. And I checked out his review, which is a pretty funny review, by the way. I'll link a link to a playlist that has all of his Alpha and Omega reviews. Will be in the description below. They're pretty funny reviews, in my opinion. And yeah, I saw that review of his, and oh my gosh, the movie looked worse than I thought it would. That video made me have second thoughts on wanting to, me thinking the movie looks interesting. Yeah, now after watching that review of Dumbsville's. Yeah, I don't think I'm too interested in checking out Alpha and Omega. It doesn't look like that good of a movie. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look awful. It just like there's some. It does look like there's some pretty interesting things about, like, it's about wolves and whatnot. And wolves are cool, and it has some nice music in it, and and it has some nice voices. But would I want to go check this movie out myself? No. I think it's best it's probably best that I just stay away from this film. It doesn't. It looks like a film that'd probably make me cringe. It doesn't look terrible, but I don't think I'd want to. Looking back, and now after watching those reviews, I don't think I'd really want to give them a watch. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll give them a watch one of these days to see if it would exceed my expectations. And maybe if I do end up watching the Alpha and Omega movies, maybe I'll do a live reaction to them like I did with Chicken Run. And who knows? Who knows? But as of right now, I'm not too interested in watching Alpha and Omega. And yeah, I know Raeed Asheque, in his channel description, Alpha and Omega is his favorite movie. It is his favorite movie. Yeah, it's his favorite movie. He loves Alpha and Omega. Yeah, he's shown that, with his spoof films. Not only has he had Humphrey be Shrek, but he's also had him be Alex for his Madagascar series, and he's going to have him be, he has an upcoming project where he's going to have him be Po for, Kung Fu Panda. And, yeah, he loves Alpha and Omega. And, yeah, he even did a spoof film for it one time. And, yeah, he loves it. It's his favorite movie of all time. And, yeah, well, I probably wouldn't agree with that opinion. And while I am pretty biased, it's fine. It's fine that he considers it his favorite movie of all time. More power to him. I guess I could see why he would love it. Raeed, if you love Alpha and Omega, that's fine. It's your opinion. But for me, I don't think I'm too interested in to want to check it out. And yeah, as for the casting choice of Humphrey Shrek, don't have an opinion on it, although it does seem pretty fitting though. Same thing with Kate or Katie, whoever her name is from Alpha and Omega, as Ogre Fiona. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let's move on to the casting choice for Donkey. And okay, how could I ignore this casting choice? Now here's a casting choice of a character I'm actually familiar with, and a casting choice I actually like. Let's get this on. Okay. So as for the series the character's from, this guy, Raeed Asheque, considers it to be his favorite TV show of all time, like how he considers Alpha and Omega to be his favorite movie of all time. And this character is none other than Gumball Watterson from The Amazing World of Gumball. And in this Shrek series, you have him as Donkey, and oh my god, do I even need to explain this? It's obvious. I love it. Gumball is a great choice for Donkey. He's a great choice for Donkey. I love him as Donkey. Easily one of my favorite choices for Donkey. He fits Donkey pretty well. He's a great choice for Donkey, and I can so see what Rhea was thinking, having him be Donkey. Love Gumball as Donkey. It's easily my favorite. It's easily not only my favorite Gumball casting choice from the spoof cast by far, but it's also my favorite casting choice from this Humphrey Shrek series of his. Oh my gosh, yeah, such a good casting choice, very nice and well done. And yeah, there's some other good Gumball casting choices in this cast too, but yeah, I'll go over those casting choices later on. Okay, so what else is there to cover? Okay, already covered the casting choice for Ogre Fiona. Now moving on to the casting choice for Human Fiona. Okay, some girl named Marinette from Miraculous Ladybug as Human Fiona. Yeah, that's the casting choice for Human Fiona in this series. And what's my opinion on it? I don't really have an opinion on it. It does seem really fitting, though. It does seem like a really fitting casting choice, but I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't really know. I don't know much about the Miraculous Ladybug, and I've never seen it. Although I do know it's pretty popular, and a lot of people really do like it. And yeah, I can see why they would like it. It does look like a pretty cool show with cool characters, nice animation style, and whatnot. Yeah, I would definitely rather give that a try than Alpha and Omega. So yeah, it does look like a pretty interesting show, and I can see why people would like it and would want to put it in their spoofs and whatnot. But still, this Miraculous Ladybug casting choice, since I don't know much about Miraculous Ladybug, I don't have an opinion on that, although it does seem pretty fitting, though. Same thing with, every other Miraculous Ladybug casting choice that's in the series. And yeah, there's a lot of Miraculous Ladybug casting choices in the series, including Human Shrek, King Harold, and Queen Lillian, and and the mob characters and whatnot. Yeah, yeah, this guy seems to really like Miraculous Ladybug too. But yeah, of course, if he does, then I don't blame him because it does look like a pretty cool show. Yeah, I still don't have an opinion on any of the Miraculous Ladybug casting choices. Okay, now all the Miraculous Ladybug casting choices are out of the way. Okay, next up. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna skip to Shrek 2 real quick and cover the casting choice he has for Puss in Boots in the series. And the casting choice he has for Puss in Boots is Darwin Watterson from The Amazing World of Gumball. Yeah, I know. I don't like it. Yeah, I know. I can see, like, I can imagine people being surprised by this because, like I've said before on the channel, I love Gumball. I love Gumball, and Darwin is one of my favorite Gumball characters. I really like Puss in Boots and whatnot. So yeah, I can imagine you guys being more expected to, for me to like this casting choice. And here's the thing: at first, I thought I was gonna like this casting choice, but then as I saw more of this casting choice be used, I decided, yeah, it wasn't as nearly as good as I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, like. When I found out that he was going to have Darwin be Puss in Boots in this series, I thought it was going to be a good idea. I thought it was going to be a nice, cool idea that'll help give us a nice little a cool, fun little side duo between Gumball and Darwin. Since you have Gumball as Donkey, and and there's Puss in Boots, and there's a nice, fun side friendship between Donkey and Puss in the Shrek series. So yeah, I thought that would lead to us having a nice, fun side duo between Gumball and Darwin in this Humphrey Shrek series of his. But nah. No, it didn't really lead to that. No. I still love the cast. I adore the casting choice of Gumball as Donkey, but Darwin as Puss in Boots, not so much. I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's definitely not the worst casting choice from this series, but it's still pretty bad. But to be fair, though, I can see what Raeed was thinking with this. I can see why he would want to have Darwin be Puss in Boots, since you have Gumball as Donkey and whatnot. Yeah, it does. This casting choice does make sense, and it's perfectly understandable, but it's still not good. It's not as nearly as good as the other Gumball casting choices that are in the series, in my opinion. But again, I can understand where he was coming from with this casting choice. Although I think that it would have been better to have Darwin. I think it would have been a better idea to throw Darwin in as an extra for Gumball as Donkey, and give it, throw in some added dialogue. Give Darwin some of Donkey's lines, or give him some more added lines, like add dialogue between him and Gumball and whatnot. That's exactly what I would do if I were to have Gumball be Donkey. I wouldn't have Darwin be Puss in Boots, but so I can see why you'd rather have Darwin be Puss in Boots, and it's a perfectly understandable casting choice, but it's still not good. In fact, it's pretty cringy, but it's definitely not the worst casting choice from this series. And oh my gosh, there's worse. There's worse casting choices in this series. I'll tear those apart later in this video. But okay, continuing on. Okay, what's next to cover? Okay, so there's a couple of Sonic casting choices I absolutely can't stand in this spoof series of his, but before I tear those apart, I want to go over the casting choice he has for Baby Bear in this project. It's a Sonic casting choice, but I think it's a really good one. It's very small. It's a very small casting choice because the lack of screen time Baby Bear has in Shrek, but it's still very good and fitting though. That is Miles Tails Prower from Sonic as Baby Bear. Yeah, that's a pretty funny, cute, and fitting casting choice. That is a very good casting choice. Him as Baby Bear. Yeah, Tails does fit Baby Bear pretty well. It is very good. It's much better than at least two of the other Sonic casting choices that's in the series. Oh my god, I really can't stand them. I really can't stand them. I'm just gonna go through them right now because I cannot wait to tear these apart. Okay, so the main Sonic casting choice in this cast involves Sonic the Hedgehog himself, and that is Sonic as which character out of all the Shrek characters? Gingy. That's right. Sonic the freaking Hedgehog. That little blue hedgehog as Gingy. Oh my god, definitely one of the first things to annoy me about this series. Oh my god, what a terrible casting choice. What a terrible casting choice. Now, Raeed Asheque, I'm not trying to be a jerk to you, I'm trying to be an honest reviewer, but I really can't stand this casting choice. I really can't. It is terrible. It's cringy. It's annoying. It's unbearable! One of the worst casting choices I've ever seen from spoof casts, and I had quite possibly the very worst casting choice apart from the My Little Pony casting choices. Terrible. I'm sorry, it's garbage. And I've seen a few other Shrek spoof casts that have this casting choice. Like, why? Why? I get that people could do whatever the heck they want with their spoof casts and whatnot. I've already said that many times on my channel, but really? Sonic of all people is Gingy? I think characters like Tails, I think characters like Tails or Charmy or Cream the Rabbit would be much better choices for Gingy, not Sonic. How does Sonic fit Gingy? This casting choice is terrible. Like, literally the only thing I like that he did with this casting choice was how, you know, he gave him an added line. He gave him an added line at the end of the part that covers the night scene. That was the only good thing he did with this casting choice in this cast. Terrible. This casting choice is terrible. Terrible. And the casting choice for Mongo is almost as bad as this one. And that casting choice is... Okay, who does he have as Mongo? Who does he have as Mongo? It's another Sonic casting choice. And, you know, it's for Mongo. So who are you thinking is... So who might you think would... what Sonic character do you think could play Mongo in this series of his? Big the Cat, maybe? No. No, instead, it's a character who was probably my favorite Sonic character, but I still cannot tolerate this casting choice either, and it is Shadow the Hedgehog. That's right, people. You got Shadow the Hedgehog of all people. Shadow as Mongo. That's right. The little cool who later turned edgy, badass character, Shadow, that small little dude, as a dumb giant character of all the dumb giant characters we have out there. Shadow, really? Shadow was your best choice for Mongo? Even though you have Sonic as Gingy, and Shadow's a doppelganger of Sonic, just like how Mongo's a doppelganger of Gingy, but it's still not a good casting choice, though. I think it's slightly better, like very slightly better than Sonic as Gingy, because at least I can understand where he was coming from with his casting choice. Like, yeah, because like I just said, Shadow's a doppelganger of Sonic, just like how Mongo's a doppelganger of Gingy. So yeah, this casting choice does make sense, but it's still terrible. It's still garbage. It's still garbage. It's easily by far the worst casting choice I've ever seen for Shadow. Terrible. Terrible. Oh my god, when he told me that he was gonna have Shadow be Mongo for his Humphrey 2, I laughed because I knew how bad, I knew it was going to be so bad. Yeah, and it was so bad. It was terrible. It was garbage. It was garbage. Garbage. It's terrible. Oh my god. It's terrible. Shadow of all the giant characters out there. Really? Shadow the Hedgehog as Mongo? Shadow the freaking Hedgehog as Mongo. But again, this is slightly better than Sonic as Gingy in my opinion, and another reason for that is because, yeah, and it also does make sense as, you know, Mongo doesn't get nearly as much screen time as Gingy in Shrek anyway. Mongo's really only in like 3 or 4 scenes in the Shrek franchise, and then we never see him again. So yeah, it's still a terrible casting choice though. But I hate Sonic and Shadow as Gingy and Mongo. Those are part of what really toned down this series for me. But let's continue on. Let's continue on with this cast. Let's see. Okay, the next casting choice from this cast is another casting choice I like. The next casting choice I'll cover is another casting choice I like, and that's the one for the Captain of the Guards from Shrek 1. Who yeah, this character. Who did Raeed have be this character? Who did Raeed have be the Captain of the Guards in Shrek 1? Simple. This character, Syndrome, you know, the classic villain from The Incredibles, Syndrome as Captain of the Guards. Yeah, that's a pretty good casting choice, but I don't think it's great, though. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's a good casting choice. But I think Syndrome would be a better choice for characters like Farquaad or Prince Charming, not the Captain of the Guards of all people. But still, it's not a bad casting choice, though. It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. It's a pretty good casting choice, but not the best casting choice I've seen for Captain of the Guards. Continuing on, here's yet another Sonic casting choice from this cast that I'm not a fan of, but I don't think it's that bad either, and that is Amy Rose from Sonic the Hedgehog as Tinkerbell. Okay, not the best casting choice ever, but it's still a good one, though. It's still good, and it's definitely far superior to Sonic and Shadow being Gingy and Mongo. That's for sure. Okay, what's the casting choice do I want to go over next? Okay, so I've covered the casting choice for Gingy. Now I want to cover the casting choices more of like the fairy tale creatures who we see throughout the Shrek series. So yeah, let's go over first up. Okay, let's go over Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks as as Pinocchio. Yeah, that's a pretty good casting choice. And yeah, you had his owner be Geppetto, which was pretty funny. Yeah, that's a pretty good casting choice. I've seen, not the best casting choice I've seen, but it's a pretty good one, though. It's a pretty good one. And now, as for the three blind mice characters, that you have a few of the penguins from the Penguins of Madagascar's them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And you also got Crash, Eddie, and Buck from Ice Ages, the three little pigs. Another good one. And yeah, another Ice Age casting choice that's in this cast is how there's Sid from Ice Age as the big bad wolf. Really? Are you serious? Are you serious? Sid? Sid of all people as the big bad wolf. Really? I think Manny or Diego would be better choices for the big bad wolf, although I'd probably say both of those characters would fit Shrek better, but really? Sid? Sid? Really? Could you not have at least had him switch casting choices with Sonic or something? How does Sid fit the Big Bad Wolf? That's terrible. Oh my gosh. I swear. I'm not trying to be a jerk to you. I'm just trying to be an honest reviewer, but I swear, you were just making random stuff up with some of these casting choices. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what's next? What do I want to cover next? What about the Magic Mirror? Okay, yeah, let's go over the casting choice for the Magic Mirror. Yet another fairy tale character that's in Shrek. So for the Magic Mirror, you have this character who's none other than Discord from My Little Pony. Moving on! Moving on before I explode in anger over that show I'm not going to even bother saying the name of. Not going on another massive rant on that show in this video. Moving on. Okay. There's also some Frozen casting choices that's in the series too. Like, for example, you got Elsa from Frozen as Snow White. Yeah, that's pretty good. You also got the Trolls as the dwarfs, which makes sense. And yeah, there's another Frozen casting choice in this cast too. And this is a casting choice that I've seen be used for Prince Charming even more than I've seen people have Alejandro from Total Drama be Prince Charming. So yeah. And then you have Prince Hans, or whoever his name is, from Frozen as Prince Charming. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I used to really despise Frozen. Like, I used to really hate Frozen, but now looking back, it's not that bad of a film. I mean, sure, maybe it's still not my thing, but still, I don't mind it that much anymore, to be honest. And I understand why people love it. You know, I can understand why people love it because of the story, the soundtrack, the animation, which is very nice. Yeah, I can see why people would like Frozen. And to be honest, I used to really hate how people kept having Prince Hans be Prince Charming, but now looking back, that's not a bad casting choice. It's pretty good. Although, yeah, there's much better casting choices. Yeah, there's a lot of characters. There's characters out there who I'd much rather have be Prince Charming than him. But still, it's not bad, though. It's not bad. It is pretty fitting, and yeah, it does work. Okay, now, what other casting choice do I want to go over? Okay, now let's finally get on to another casting choice that I do actually love from the series. And that, yeah, and this casting choice, I think, in my opinion, is the perfect casting choice, looking at the casting choice for Donkey in the series. And that casting choice is, of course, okay, since that you have Gumball Watterson as Donkey in the spoof series, you got her girlfriend, Penny, as Dragon. Yeah, that is a very good casting choice. That makes perfect sense, and it is really good and fitting, especially since you have Gumball as Donkey, and especially looking at the dragon form that Penny has in later Gumball. It's very good, very nice, very good. It's a very good casting choice. Not as great as Gumball as Donkey, but it's still a very good casting choice, though, and it makes perfect sense. And yeah, another Gumball casting choice I really like from this cast is how at the end is how for his Humphrey 2 project, he had his own fan-made Gumball characters, his own fan-made Gumball babies be the Dronkies, and I love that. That is a great idea. Great casting choice. Great idea. It's definitely by far my favorite OC casting choices out of all the OC casting choices Raeed has done for his spoof so far. He's done other OC casting choices in this cast, and I do like his other OC casting choices, but I so far, my favorite so far is definitely definitely his casting choice of his idea with the Gumball babies. That's very good and fitting, makes perfect sense, and yeah, very nice and well done. So yeah, there you have it. That covers like all the Gumball casting choices, if I'm correct. And yeah, there you have it. I love all the Gumball casting choices from the series of his, just except for Darwin as Puss in Boots. that one, yeah, minus that one, I love all the Gumball casting choices from this cast, and they're all very nice and well done, and like one of the main reasons to watch this Humphrey Shrek series. Okay, what else is there to cover? I think I've covered a good chunk of the Shrek 1 casting choices. Let me go over. Is there any more? Do I want to stop with the Shrek 1 casting choices? Oh no. Let me see. Well, yes, there are some more Shrek 1 casting choices that I want to go over. And here's another small Shrek 1 casting choice from this cast. You got Tim from The Boss Baby as Peter Pan. It's a very small casting choice, but it's still a good one, though. It is pretty fitting, and yeah, I think his voice fits him pretty well, too. So, yeah, that's another good casting choice. And there's also some casting choices in this cast that are from Talking Tom and Friends, and I like the Alpha and Omega casting choices and the Miraculous Ladybug casting choices. I don't really have too much of an opinion on those casting choices. But yeah, I haven't really had too much of experience with Talking Tom and Friends. Although I might have seen, I think I've saw at least two YouTube videos about it. But yeah, I haven't really had that much experience with Talking Tom and Friends itself. And yeah, I'm not too interested in wanting to check it out. But if I had to watch it though, I wouldn't mind it that much. Although it does not seem that interesting to me to make me want to go check it out. But if I had to watch it, though, I don't think I'd mind it that much. But yeah, so yeah, that covers all the Talking Tom and Friends casting choices. Yeah, there's some other Talking Tom and Friends casting choices from the series, too. Like for the Fairy Godmother and the Friar's Fat Boy Lady. And yeah, I don't really have an opinion on those. Although they do seem pretty fitting, though. I'll give them that. And yeah, I think, is there any more Shrek 1 casting choices I want to cover? I think that's about. Yeah, I think I've covered a good chunk. I think I'm satisfied enough with the Shrek 1 casting choices. Now let me focus more on the Shrek 2 casting choices. Okay. Yeah, wait. Oh, wait. Didn't I say earlier in this review that I covered all the Sonic casting choices? Well, if I did say that, my bad. There's some more Sonic casting choices I want to cover with this series of his. For example, there's also female Sonic characters as you know, there's also some other female Sonic characters as the other fairies apart from Tinkerbell, and that's good. There's also another Sonic casting choice on there is also Tom from the live action Sonic movies as the Muffin Man. Yeah, that's not the best casting choice, but it's not terrible though. It's fine. It's pretty good. It's not the best Sonic casting choice I've seen, but still, it's pretty good. It's fine. It's still definitely vastly superior to Sonic and Shadow being Gingy and Mago. That's for sure. That is for sure. Oh my god. I don't want to talk about those anymore. Okay, what other casting choices there to cover? Okay, so as for these band guys who show up in the first act of Shrek 2, and as Shrek like to call them, Sergeant Pumpus and the Fancy Pants Club Band. I love that line from Shrek 2. That's definitely one of my favorite lines in the film. But yeah, as for those guys, you have more Frozen characters as them, which is pretty good and fitting. Not too crazy about it, but still, it's still pretty good and fitting. I don't mind it. And well, okay, so there's some good casting choices for the characters from the bar in Shrek 2 that I want to go over. Like, for example, you got Scar from The Lion King as the Cyclops. That's pretty good. There's also Bowser from Mario as the Headless Horseman. That's another pretty good one. And probably the most fitting out of these three that I listed, there's Go-Go from Big Hero 6 as Doris the Ugly Stepsister. That's a pretty good one. Yeah. Big Hero 6 was a pretty cool movie. I remember I used to hate that movie for some reason. I don't remember why, but looking back, that was a pretty cool film. And Go-Go is a good choice for Doris the Ugly Stepsister. That is a good casting choice. And one of the best casting choices to come out of this series of his. And yeah, what else? Okay. Oh yeah, and the video is almost 30 minutes long. I've gone over all these casting choices, yet I still haven't gone over the casting choice for Stallion Donkey yet. Yeah, I can imagine you guys expecting that to be one of the first few casting choices I go over in this video. So yeah, let's finally go over the casting choice for Stallion Donkey in this spoof series of his. And this is another one of his OC casting choices. He was originally going to have a My Little Pony character be Stallion Donkey, but due to it being a continuity error, he did end up going with that casting choice, and yeah, you guys should already know how I feel about that. Yeah, thank God. Oh my God, man. That would have been one of the biggest downgrades ever. Have Gumball an awesome choice. Have Gumball an awesome choice for Donkey. In my opinion, an awesome choice for Donkey turn into a character, a My Little Pony character. Oh my gosh. A great character from one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows turn into a character from a cartoon I hate and I've ranted on so many times. Ugh! But yeah, you guys know. But yeah, thankfully he didn't go with that. Thankfully, due to continuity issues, he didn't go with that casting choice, and he instead had this OC character he made himself called Rainbow the Pegasus. Yep. Yeah, it's a big white horse character that he made himself, and yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that is a good. That is a good OC casting choice he made himself. It does look like a white horse version of Gumball, and he had Gumball turn into that character for his Humphrey 2 project. And yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like his OC casting choices. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Nice and well done. Of course, not as good as Gumball as Gumball as the normal donkey, but it's still pretty cool though. It's still nice and good, and yeah, it's definitely another one of my favorite casting choices from this series of his. And yeah, another transformation casting choice I want to go over is the casting choice for Frog King Harold, because unlike the casting choice for normal King Harold in this spoof series of his, I do actually have more of an opinion on this casting choice, and that is this character named Rango from that old Nickelodeon movie from over a decade back called Rango as Frog King Harold. What's my opinion on that? Well, let me start off by sharing my opinion on Rango. I've shared my opinion on Rango before on the channel, but yeah, I figured I'd share it in this video. Okay, so just so you guys know, when we first saw Rango, I used to hate Rango. Like, I used to absolutely despise Rango. Yeah, that movie, one time me and my family watched it, we like rented it on DVD, and it bored the heck out of us. Yeah, we hated that movie, and I hated that movie for years. I despised it for years. Thought it was overrated. But then in recent years, I hated the film less. And like probably around a month ago at school, some kid in class brought their Xbox in, and we were watching Rango off his Xbox. And yeah, I got to rewatch Rango. I got to rewatch some of Rango. And what are my thoughts on it now? It's still a pretty boring film, not a good film. It's still not a film for me, but it's not bad though. It's not bad. It's got some cool things in it. Like, it does have some entertaining scenes in it, some cool camera moments and whatnot, nice voice acting. But still, it's not a film, not a classic, not a film for me, not worth a rewatch. But I know so many people love Rango, and I can understand why. I used to think Rango was really overrated, but looking back, no, I don't think it's overrated, even though I don't like it as nearly as much as most people do. And yeah, I don't mind this casting choice of Rango as Frog King Harold. I think it's a pretty good casting choice. Yeah, definitely far from the best casting choice I've seen from the series, but still, I think it works. I think it's pretty good. And yeah, is there any other casting choices that I want to go over in this cast before I go into details with other stuff in this video? Well, I think I've covered a good chunk of casting choices in this cast, so yeah, I think I want to move on and go more into detail with some other stuff in this series apart from this cast. But before I do so, here's something for the Return of the Fossa, because I know he's gonna love this casting choice. Okay, so the Return of the Fossa, just so you know, you're probably gonna love this casting choice. For Tom Thumb and Thumbelina, he had Poppy and Branch from Trolls, one of your favorite animated films of all time, be them. And I'm sure you loved that. Look at how you love how a House of Petra, or whatever her name is, had a Branch and Poppy be Shrek and Fiona for her Shrek spoof films. Yeah, so I'm sure that's something for you since you love Trolls. Just something to let you know, buddy. But yeah, I want to go over some other stuff in this series apart from this cast, because I think I've spent enough time on the cast and choices in this cast, and I've made my opinion clear enough on this cast. So yeah, let me go over some other stuff in this series of his. Okay, another thing I want to talk about with the series of his is the quality of it. Okay, how good is the quality of it? Well, it's definitely not the best quality I've seen from spoof films, but still, it's not half bad though. Although it's not done in high quality like a lot of these other spoof films are. No, it's done in rather with him. It looked like he was recording. It looked like he took his phone, or it looked like Raeed took his phone or his tablet, or whatever. It seems like what this guy does with his spoof films is he takes his phone or his tablet or whatever he's using to record the footage in low quality, and he records the footage that he's playing through his tablet or his computer or whatever. And yeah, that's basically how he records the footage for his spoof films and whatnot. And yeah, as for the audio, he quietly records the audio himself. And yeah, even though I like Shrek 2 more than Shrek 1 by a very slight margin, I will say that the audio quality of his Shrek 1 is actually better than the audio quality of his Shrek 2. So yeah, the audio quality jumps down a bit after Humphrey 1. And it doesn't become as loud in Humphrey 2. But it's not a bad thing though. The audio quality is still not half bad in Humphrey 2. Yeah, definitely not the best audio quality though. But it's still good, though. Still good. But not as good as the audio quality in Humphrey 1. But yeah. Maybe you could have done a more consistent job with the audio quality. But still, it's fine, though. It's fine, though. Not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, the editing's pretty good. You know, the syncing is fine. And, you know, there's some... But yeah, as for the editing, though, okay. There's like another problem with this series of his. There's like another big problem with this series of his that really annoys me, and that's a problem I have with many other people's spoof films, including my favorite. Yeah, including at least some of my favorites. And that is how there are certain parts where he decides to be lazy, and, you know, instead of syncing up certain parts, he decides to just lazily record the footage himself, showing the faces of the characters he doesn't have as himself. It's like, oh my gosh, like, seriously, can we please, for the love, oh my gosh, can we please put that to rest? Can we please stop that in these spoof videos? I'm really getting sick and tired of that. I really do hate that about spoof videos, about how there are times where these spoofers will decide to be lazy, and instead of actually syncing up a part using the characters from the cast of this project and whatnot, they'll instead just, like, you know, lazily show footage. They'll instead just lazily show footage of whatever the media is they're spoofing. You know, lazily showing the faces of the characters they don't have as themselves. Like, it's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. Even, like, probably a good chunk of my favorite spoof films on YouTube have this wrong. Like, it's so annoying. I'd really like that to stop with these spoof films, even though these are other people's spoof films, not mine. But still, I would really like that to stop, though, because think about it. Like, seriously, it really makes no sense to me to do that when you're spoofing a film. Like, seriously, I think people should either spoof the movie. I think if you're gonna do a spoof video, you should, like, you know, people should either spoof something and don't do that lazy thing, or they just shouldn't spoof it at all. Just shouldn't spoof at all. Shouldn't spoof the thing at all, and at best just, like, do cast videos or something. Seriously. What's the point in spoofing the movie if you're gonna do lazy stuff like that? Come on, if you're gonna do that, maybe it's probably a good idea to just upload the whole movie in its entirety and risk getting copyright claimed. Oh my gosh, man. You're here to spoof the movie, not re-upload it. Stop doing that bullcrap. God. So annoying. So annoying. And what parts of this series does he do that? Well, to name a couple, and I've seen many other people do this lazy thing with these parts too. The part of the night scene where they're talking like, we got a white Bronco heading east of the forest, and they show Shrek, Donkey, and Puss getting chased by the police and whatnot. Yeah, and the part of the I Need a Hero scene where that big door opens and they show Donkey, Puss, and the game behind it. Yeah, those two parts. Oh my gosh. When I got so annoyed as soon as I saw him lazily recording the footage from those scenes. Oh my gosh, man. It would have been so much better if you had actually synced up those parts instead of just lazily recording footage like that, man. Come on, you're here to spoof the movie. You're not here to re-upload the movie itself. Well, okay, well, technically you are here to re-upload the movie, but still, you're not, like, re-uploading the movie itself. You're uploading your own version of the film. So therefore, you shouldn't do that kind of stuff. Seriously, what is the point in spoofing the media you're spoofing if you're going to do lazy stuff like that? Either spoof whatever media it is you want to spoof and don't do that thing, or don't spoof the media at all, and at best just do, like, a cast video for whatever, and best just do cast videos for whatever it is you want to spoof or something. Like, seriously, if you're going to do that lazy thing, then don't do spoofs. Don't spoof stuff. Just simply don't spoof stuff, okay? So yeah, future preference for Raeed Asheque. Future preference for Raeed Asheque. Yeah, and also another problem with it is with doing that lazy thing is that it also better increases the chances of your video getting copyright blocked from, you know, the company of whoever owns whatever media it is you're spoofing. So yeah, that's another problem with it. It can increase the chances of your video getting copyright blocked because, you know, chances are, like, I know stories about there being certain spoof videos that have gone copyright blocked because they've showed too much footage of whatever media it is they're spoofing. So yeah, if you keep doing that lazy thing, then it could lead to stuff like that happening. So yeah, for future preference, Raeed Asheque, for future preference, I think it's best that you don't do that lazy thing. Even though these spoof films are yours, not mine, I think it's best that you don't do that lazy thing. And I think it's something that all spoof films should just stop doing forever. Okay, now that big problem's out of the way, what else is there to talk about with the spoof series of his? Well, back on to the positive side. Okay, so continuing on, there were some other parts of this series of his where there have been some parts of this series of his where he would like replace certain lines with like added clips and whatnot. Like this like there were some parts where he added in clips, like from series that are in the series of his. So yeah, I thought that was cool. An example is like what he did for the end of the night scene where he threw in that clip of Sonic from the live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie and changed the line a little bit. I really liked that. And again, it's the only good thing he did with Sonic is Gingy. The only good thing he did with Sonic is Gingy. Ugh, only good thing. But yeah, other examples being for the line in Shrek 1 where Shrek says "huh" after one of the dwarves say the bed's taken. Yeah, what he did in replacement for that "huh" line, he threw in the clip from Alpha and Omega of Humphrey saying "what?" Yeah, I thought that was really good too. And yeah, he also threw in some. He also had some fitting add-in Gumball clips he did too. Like he added in a fitting Gumball clip between Gumball and Penny for that Hallelujah scene. I really liked that. And also in a replacement of Donkey and Fiona saying "what" simultaneously to Shrek not wanting, thinking that they shouldn't go too far away. He replaced it with the clip from Gumball of Gumball saying "what the what?" Yeah, that classic phrase Gumball uses at times in Gumball. There's pretty cool stuff like that. I do like it when spoofs do that, adding clips like that. Yeah, that is a pretty cool thing they do. I mean, yeah, it's good to do that sometimes, but you don't want to do it too much because you don't want to like hammer that gag out too much by throwing in too many clips and whatnot. And plus, it also increase the chances of your video getting copyright blocked. But I still really like that idea though. It's a pretty funny and clever idea. A nice way to add dialogue in these spoof films. But yeah, another problem I have with this Humphrey Shrek series of his, and this is another problem this is a problem that I've seen many other spoof films have. So yeah, this shouldn't be any surprise, and that is how there have been many times where you'd be like keep using the same few clips over and over again. Like I've noticed him doing that like with certain casting choices like Humphrey as Shrek, like the main casting choices and some other casting choices and whatnot. And yeah, I think he could have done a better job with varying the clips in the spoof film series of his, especially since they apparently especially looking at how he's proven to be a big fan of like certain series in the spoof series of his. Yeah, like series like Alpha and Omega, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Miraculous Ladybug, that kind of stuff. And yeah, there have been many times where you keep using the same few clips over and over again. And yeah, I think he could have done a better job with varying the clips and stuff and whatnot. I mean, yeah, that way it would have taken him longer to complete the series, yeah, but to complete these spoof films of his, yeah. But it still would have been worth it. It still would have been worth it because it would have been nice if he varied the clips more. Like I noticed, like with Gumball as Donkey, he kept using. There are many times where he kept using this one clip from the episode called what's it called? It's a season 3 episode I saw last month. Yeah. Did I see it? Yeah. Was it last month or was it the month before? But yeah, I saw this one like probably around a month ago. It was this one called The Downer, and yeah, I noticed a lot in the series of his. He kept using this one clip of Gumball being at the dinner table talking to himself, imitating his family and whatnot. And yeah, I think not that I don't like the clip or anything like that. No. I saw the clip from the episode itself, and yeah, I did. In fact, I saw the whole episode itself, and I do agree it is a really good episode, possibly one of the best episodes from later Gumball. But I'm saying I think he could have used that clip less. I mean, come on, Gumball, with the amount of screen time Gumball has in Gumball, and looking at how long Gumball ran, I think he could have done a better job of varying the clips and whatnot. Especially since he considers Gumball to be his favorite TV show. So yeah, I don't really think he has an excuse for using the same clips over and over again like that, apart from laziness. So I really think he could have tried harder. With it. So yeah, for future preference, I would like to see him vary the clips more in his spoof films and whatnot. Although I don't think it's as bad of a thing in spoof films as, like, let's say people doing that lazy thing I talked about earlier, where they lazily show the faces of the characters they don't have as themselves. Yeah, that part. Yeah, that use the same footage over and over again kind of thing. Yeah, that problem can be pretty annoying, but it's definitely not as annoying as lazily showing the faces of the characters you don't have as themselves. Because unlike that problem, I don't think this problem defeats the whole purpose of spoofing the movie to begin with. Because with you reusing the same clips over and over again, with you reusing the same pictures and clips over and over again, that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's still lazy, but at the very least, it's still you spoofing the movie. When you lazily show the faces of the characters you don't have as themselves like that, while lazily showing footage of the movie, that's not spoofing the movie. That's just being lazy and stealing footage of a movie you don't own. yeah, that's increasing the chances of your video getting copyright blocked and whatnot. That's not spoofing it. That's like lazily stealing footage. That's what it is. So yeah, they're using the same footage over and over again kind of thing. Yeah, I do wish that problem was like improved a bit in this series of his, and that he used more clips and whatnot. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem, but this is a problem that I've seen many other spoof films have. Even like probably my favorite Shrek spoof film in Spanish, the Sonic Shrek movies by Gladys Velasquez. Yeah, even he has this problem in his Sonic Shrek series too. And as much as I love that those Sonic Shrek movies of his, I do agree that it is a problem that he did in his spoof cast, in those spoof films of his, where he kept using the same clips and pictures over and over again. This is the type of problem I've seen many other people have with their spoof films. But yeah, it's really not anything that new. And this isn't as big of a problem as some other problems I have with the spoof cast, such as, the lazily showing the faces thing, and, the certain casting choices from this cast. Yeah, that is a problem that I would like to see be taken care of better with these spoof films. But still, yeah, it is a problem, but it's not as big. It's definitely not the biggest problem I have with the spoof series of his, though. But yeah, this review is already getting pretty long. It's been over 45 minutes long. So yeah, I think I've covered my opinion on this spoof cast, on the spoof series of his well enough. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into conclusion right now. Okay, how good do I think this series of his is? Okay, what's my overall opinion on the series of his? It's good. It's not great though. It's not great. No, it's definitely not great. Oh my gosh, yeah. And you guys probably aren't surprised that I don't think it's great because I've done pretty massive rants on certain things about this series of his, and yeah, it shouldn't be that big of a surprise I don't think it's great. Yeah, there's some pretty big problems I have with it that do keep it from being great, such as, the lazily showing the faces thing, and there's certain casting choices I cannot stand, such as Sonic as Gingy, and, Shadow as Mongo, and, along with some other bad casting choices, such as Darwin as Puss in Boots, and Sid as the Big Bad Wolf, and oh my gosh, man, and these My Little Pony casting choices, yeah. But this is still a good series, though. It's enjoyable. It's watchable. It has some great things about it. It has some things about it that I love, such as most of the Gumball casting choices, and Tails as Baby Bear, and, some nice added dialogue scenes and whatnot. It's got good editing to it. It's got good syncing to it. It's got, yeah, I do think this is good. I do think this is watchable, but I don't think it's great. It's good though. It's definitely good. How would I rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? I'll give it a 7 out of 10. This series of his gets a 7 out of 10. Not great. There's some annoying things about it that keep it from being great, but it's still good though. It's still good. It's still good. It's enjoyable. It's watchable. And I'm not crazy excited for Humphrey the Third, but I am still looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. I'm not too crazy excited for it. Like the casting choices for Artie and Merlin in that project of his. Yeah, I don't think they'll be that bad. For example, there's he's gonna have Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon be Artie. Pretty good. And he's also gonna have, if I'm correct, his teacher be Merlin. Yeah. Those casting choices, they're not too exciting, but they're fine. They're okay. They're passable. They're fine. They're not great, but they're fine. They're okay. I don't think they'll be that bad casting choices. I think they'll be pretty good. And yeah, but probably the part I'm looking forward to seeing the most in this Humphrey the Third project is, when he's gonna have Gumball and Darwin switch bodies with each other. I think that'll be pretty funny. Yeah, and pretty fitting too, since Gumball and Darwin did switch bodies a few times in the show. And yeah, plus I don't think the casting choices of Darwin as Donkey and Gumball as Puss in Boots are that bad. I think they're both good, especially Darwin as Donkey. So yeah, I think that will be pretty funny to see in his Humphrey the Third. Although I'm still not crazy excited for his Humphrey the Third project, but still, I'm looking forward to seeing it though. I'm subscribed to Raeed Asheque, and I'll know when he gets out his Humphrey the Third project, which it won't happen for a while because right now he's currently working on spoofs for other movies. Like right now he's focusing on his Finding Tails project. Right now he's doing his Finding Tails project where he has Tails from Sonic v. Nemo, which is another great casting choice I love from his spoof films of his. And yeah, he's working on that series. He's working on that project of his. And so far, I've seen a bit of it. So far, from what I've seen of it, it's not great, but it's still pretty good though. It's still pretty good. It has some cool casting choices in it, such as Tails as Nemo, and he has a cool OC casting choice with his fan made cheetah characters, which I think is pretty funny. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how I am looking forward to seeing more of his Finding Tales project. Not too crazy excited about it, but still, I'm looking forward to seeing it, though. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy will do with his future content with the spoofs and whatnot. I am subscribed to him, even though I don't think any of his spoof films where I see them are great, but I'm still subscribed to him because he's still a pretty interesting guy that has really great ideas in his spoof videos and whatnot. You know, he does have pretty interesting tastes, and like he does seem to have pretty interesting tastes since he considers Gumball his favorite TV show, and he considers Alpha and Omega his favorite movie. Even though I'm not that interested in checking out Alpha and Omega, it does not look like that great of a movie to me. But still, it's his favorite movie, and yeah, I can see why he would consider it to be his favorite movie. Like, you know, again, if he loves it, then that's fine. More power to him. But for me, I don't want to check it out. And plus, even if I did have a problem with him having Alpha and Omega be his favorite movie, on the upside, at least his favorite TV show is Gumball, and you guys know I love Gumball. So yeah, I can take comfort in that. And yeah, guys, I know I sounded pretty harsh and mean at certain parts when I was ranting about the stuff I don't like from this series of his. Yeah, I just want you guys to know, yeah, I'm not trying to be a jerk to Raeed. I'm not trying to be a jerk to Raeed, control his spoof cast, control, like, you know, what he does with his content too much. I'm not trying to be a jerk to him. I'm just trying to be an honest reviewer and, you know, review. And you know, of course, if I don't discuss those problems I have with this Humphrey Shrek series of his, then would this be a review? No, this wouldn't be a review. This is a review. This isn't a video of me vaguely sharing my opinion on his series. No, this is a review. So yeah, I feel it's very necessary for me to discuss those problems I have with this Humphrey Shrek series of his. Yeah, and there's some big problems with this Humphrey Shrek series of his that I think tone down the enjoyment of them. But still, those problems definitely don't keep the series from being good. The series is still good with some great things about it, and yeah, definitely not one of my favorite spoof films off of YouTube. But still, it's good. It's good though. I enjoy it. It's still good though. I enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to seeing more of his Humphrey Shrek series of his. Even though I'm not too crazy excited about it, but still, I'm still excited to see more. I'm still excited to see more of the series of his. So yeah, guys, that's about it. That's my opinion on this Humphrey Shrek series of his. Not great, but good. Good. A 7 out of 10. If you guys want to see these, this his Humphrey Shrek movies, links to both of these movies will be down in the description below. And yeah, links to a link to Raeed Asheque's channels will be in the description below as well. And yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. What do you guys think of this Humphrey Shrek series of his? If you guys have an opinion on this Humphrey Shrek series of his, you can share that opinion to me in the comment section down below if you want. You know, if you guys want to, you can tell me what you guys think of this review. You know, what you think of this Humphrey Shrek series. What do you think of this Humphrey Shrek series of his? What do you think of Raeed Asheque spoof films and whatnot? You guys can tell me that kind of stuff in the comment section down below if you want. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it for the video, you guys. That's about it for this video. Links will be down in the description below. And that's all for this video, you guys. Bye, everyone. Good night, and thank you all for watching this review video.